They managed to create emotional branding that worked like magic on everyone. Various studies suggest that they play on the idea of heroism, perseverance, and struggle. You as the consumer find the strength and greatness to be victorious. The slogan, "Just do it," is something that resonates with everyone. It's a call to action that urges people to pursue their dreams and reach their goals. Welcome to Personality Matters. I'm Maria Martini, and today we'll be talking about the founders of Nike. The story started with Phil Knight, who set on a world trip in the early 1960s. He was visiting Japan when he came across running shoe brand Tiger, now known as Asics. Phil Knight was truly amazed at the quality and low cost of the shoes, so he had an idea of striking a distribution deal with the company. He met the big boss and voila, the deal was made. But it took him almost a year to get the first samples of Tiger shoes. While waiting, he actually got a job as an accountant. But when he finally received the shoes, he set 2 pairs to a track and field coach, William Jay Bowerman. Knight hoped to get his first sale and find an influential person in sports, but he achieved even more than he expected. Bowerman not only ordered the shoes, but also offered Phil Knight a partnership. That's how one of the most successful partnerships in business history began. In 1964, they created a company called Blue Ribbon Sports, which is the brand that would later be renamed Nike. By the way, the name Nike is derived from ancient Greek mythology. Nike is the Greek goddess of victory. Anyway, in its early years, the company functioned as a retailer and sold Japanese running shoes by Tiger. The relationship between the two businesses lasted quite a while. More precisely, until 1971. After that, Blue Ribbon Sports announced the launch of its own collection. The company was rebranded as Nike and got the iconic Swoosh logo. Interestingly, this is one of the most recognizable logos in the world, and it was created for $35 by a graphic design student, Carolyn Davidson, who later received an undisclosed amount of Nike stock for her contribution to the company's brand. So never say no if somebody offers you cheap freelancer work. Who knows where it will take you? We're hiring, by the way. The same year, 1971, something happened that revolutionized the future of performance sneakers. Bill Bowerman was searching for a way to make shoes faster and lighter. One morning, he was having breakfast with his wife when it dawned on him that the waffle iron could become a good mold for running shoes. As his wife recalls, he got up from the table and went tearing into his lab and got 2 cans of whatever it is you pour together to make urethane and poured them into the waffle iron. This rubber mold Bowerman created heralded the birth of the first Nike shoes that looked like this. So the shoes became a huge success and determined the future growth of the company for many years ahead. In 1980, Nike had its IPO, with which in a few days made the founders multimillionaires. Nike started its IPO at 18 cents per share. In 1921, it cost 148 cents per share. So if you had invested $10,000 back then, today you would have a value of $5,236,290. Sorry, Arthur's crazy about calculations. Let's move on. Another turning point in the business was the launch of the Air Jordan series. In 1984, Nike signed a deal with Michael Jordan. He had actually never worn a pair of Nikes, and he was hoping to strike a deal with Adidas, but Nike proposed amazing conditions. $500,000 a year for 5 years, 2 die-cast Mercedes cars, and shoes customized to a specific request. Anyway, the contract with Michael Jordan is still considered the most successful business venture Nike has ever undertaken. Even today, Air Jordans remain one of Nike's main sources of revenue, which brings the company almost $3 billion in sales every year. And Michael Jordan still receives a pretty solid royalty. Also, the deal helped Nike pull ahead of the competition with another shoemaker brand, Reebook, which was #1 back in the 1980s. In fact, Michael Jordan proved his loyalty to the company during one small incident at the Olympic Games in 1992. Let's jump ahead a bit. In 1992, the US Olympic team's official sponsor was Reebok. But some players in the basketball team, including Michael Jordan, refused to wear the suits with the Reebok logo. Although the US Olympic Committee made it clear that wearing the official jacket was mandatory, Michael Jordan felt very strongly about his loyalty to Nike. So when he walked up atop the podium, he put the American flag around his shoulders to hide the Reebok logo. Later, he said, "The American flag cannot deface anything. That's what we stand for. The American dream is standing up for what you believe in. I believe in this, and I stood up for it. If I offended anyone, that's too bad." Well, anyways, during the 1980s and 1990s, Nike continued its glorious expansion fueled by a series of successful campaigns, one of which became legendary. You probably guessed what we're talking about. It's the Just Do It ad campaign from 1998. The slogan was created in 1987 by Nike's chief ad agency, Wieden & Kennedy. Supposedly, it's a slightly modified version of the last statement made by murderer Gary Gilmore in 1977 when he was sentenced to death. According to the former chief marketing officer at Nike, Liz Dolan, this was not about being inspired by Gary Gilmore, but rather it's about the ultimate statement of intention. Nike is one of the biggest athletic shoe retailers that produce the majority of its products outside the home country, USA. In the early 1990s, the company was associated with abusive labor practices in foreign factories. Later on, though, the company invested a lot of effort into establishing new working standards and auditing systems to observe labor practices in their factories. Today, Nike is the #1 brand in the sporting goods industry, and it's the 14th most valuable brand in the world. The success of the company is due to the combination of multiple factors. Let's look at them now. The first one is jogging. In the early 80s, the middle class promoted social activities to boost cardiovascular health, so jogging became a real thing. Nike made the most out of that. They did not just sell running shoes that all of a sudden went into demand, no. They sold a lifestyle that tapped into people's emotions and aspirations to feel good about jogging and living healthy. Another important thing that Nike managed to create is an aura of coolness. Launching commercials that were a mix of humor, sport, and pop culture, Nike managed to create emotional branding that worked like magic on everyone. Various studies suggest that the company plays on the idea of heroism, perseverance, and struggle. You as the consumer find the strength and greatness to be victorious. So the slogan, "Just Do It," is something that resonates with everyone. It's a call to action that urges people to pursue and reach their goals. This strategy of emotional branding appeals to large audiences. So it's not surprising that Nike leads in the number of subscribers they have on Instagram, 80 million followers. In addition to all the above, Nike focuses on developing a variety of new technologies. For instance, a shoe that will auto-lace when you put your heel in the shoe, or even an augmented reality foot scanning solution to help users find their ideal fit. Okay, we're gonna stop it here. Today we shared with you the history of a world-known brand, its founders, and how the success of this brand impacted the world, Nike. Thank you for watching Personality Matters. I'm Maria Martini. Till next time.